the initial struggle was really in my own community. Because my man Steve Lobel just logged on. What up, Steve Lobel? Appreciate you. The initial struggle was really in my own community because it was no Armenian rappers, period. You know what I'm saying? And to this day, there really isn't. I mean, there are a lot of young kids doing music and stuff like that, but no one we might have heard of, you know what I'm saying? Or even like on this level yet, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it was really just looked at like, yo, what is this guy doing? He trying to rap, you know what I mean?
Right.
And just to like from your own friends, family, and your own community, it was really like, yo, you know what I mean? It was really not accepted. So I had to really win a lot of people over. But I remember when I dropped my first project or CD, and this is like late 2000s, you know what I'm saying? It was almost like it instantly blew up in the community, and it was almost like a shock to like Armenians and non-Armenians. Like, yo, this motherfucker really rap, like rap, you know what I mean?
Right.
That level. And instantly I started getting a lot of love. Of course, the love always starts in your community, you know?
Right.
That's regardless where you from, you know? If you're from Brooklyn or whatever, you know what I mean? Your first buzz gonna be in Brooklyn before the rest of New York or whatever. So first buzz obviously was from my own people, and then it kind of started spreading kind of in the LA hip-hop underground scene. And honestly, the skills and the level of lyricism and stuff is what got me my respect and acceptance, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And of course now it has changed a lot. Like hip-hop is so much more universal, even on a mainstream level, you know what I mean? Like up to before like French Montana and DJ Khaled, it was nobody that looked like me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now everywhere I go, people be like, yo, French Montana, DJ Khaled, you look like Khaled. No, I don't look like Khaled at all.
Yeah, you're like, hold on. You gotta chill out right now.
But to ignorant people, I look like Khaled, you know what I'm saying? But it's all good. That's how it is though, you know what I mean? But people like that have opened a lot of doors already. And I feel like as long as you always pay respect to the roots of this culture and where it came from. I mean, I'm a purist of the hip hop culture, so I don't have any problems in that area, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like as long as you're true to the art form and the culture, like, and you're being true to yourself, there's room for like everybody now, you know, like hip hop is really universal. There's MCs and producers and just hip hop in every single country in the world, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy MCs out in Armenia. It's crazy MCs out in the Netherlands, like in Dutch, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or other countries of Europe or Japan, or, you know what I mean? Every country.
So what was that? What was that like? You know, I know the Netherlands is known to have a really strong hold on the hip hop scene and be known to rap hard up, etc. You know, and then coming out here in America, and then obviously you straight go to, you know, the West Coast hotspot, which is LA.
Right.
Know? So how was that transfer going from that country and feeling that hip hop scene, and then hitting LA and hitting that hip hop scene? Did you almost feel like you were prepared where you were from? Like, okay,
it's just like my roots were like, because I grew up in a place where if you were into hip hop, it was like very pure, you know what I mean? And the way I got put onto hip hop was by like an older family friend when I was about, I don't know, maybe 9 or 10, and his mom was my mom's best friend, so he used to come over. And he realized, he saw how much I was into music and kind of gravitating towards rap.
Right.
He was like, well, if you're into rap, you should listen to this. And he gave me like Gangstar, you know? And then he's like, let me give you like a list of like 5 albums you should listen to, like the next time he would come. And those 5 was like Illmatic, Enter 36 Chambers, KRS-One, Return to the Boom Bap, Tribe Called Quest. Like, he was literally schooling me. And I just fell in love with that hip hop shit, you know what I mean? Right. Later on, of course, it was like Snoop and Dre and stuff, but it was a lot of New York shit, really, you know what I mean?
Right.
And Amsterdam, I mean, I guess back in, I don't know what year, New York was called New Amsterdam, right? It's some type of Dutch connection there. I'm not sure exactly. There's like Dutch cities called Brooklyn and Harlem and shit too in Holland. So there's a connection with New York. So it's very New York vibe out there, you know what I mean?
Right.
And to this day, people are like, yo, you don't sound like a West Coast MC when you spit, you know? Because your flow is not like West Coast, but that's because I didn't literally grow up here. I didn't get into hip hop here, you know what I mean? I love LA. You know, I love West Coast music and LA. I don't think there's a better place on earth. But you know, I guess my natural way of attacking a beat or whatever or
Right.
making music is not that traditional West Coast. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
That's interesting, man, because you know, and it's an interesting conversation, especially for excuse my accent, because we're talking about language, you know, dialect, you know, then we go into cadence when it comes into hip hop, and I've heard that a lot from different hip hop artists. You know, growing up in that era and in our era, you know, where you be on the West Coast and be like, oh, you listen to that East Coast shit, da 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 da, you know,
Right.
and then being an artist where you're just naturally hitting bars like that. Did you get like a little bit of slack with cats like where people were kind of like, you know, you in LA?
Honestly, like not really. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't gotten a lot of negativity as far as like, yeah, I mean sometimes they're like you too lyrical as far as like industry people, you know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
if I was trying to get fuck with a label or do anything industry related, it was like, yo, you rap, you know, you gotta chill on the rapping, but not really you LA, you West Coast, you this, you that. You know, there was a time where people were telling me like we don't really know how to market you because you from LA, but you're not a Blood or a Crip.
Mm.
And the fact is that if you're from LA, people only care if you either a Blood or a Crip. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
it's kind of true. That's what West Coast is known for. You know what I'm saying? So, um, but at the same time, I don't feel like I be all in my songs repping like West Coast this and West Coast that. You know what I mean? So, I think there's a lane for everybody, especially today. You know
Totally.
what I mean? As long as you know what it is and you kind of like, you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
find your niche and you go in that lane. So,
Yeah. Actually, you know that goes into my next line of questioning, which is, you know, there are these stereotypes and these boxes that the industry always is looking to put people in. You know, I feel like that's just corporate America because people just want to understand. You know,
right.
it seems for you, you took on a very strong mantle. You know, which is your heritage and your culture and speaking for people. You know, your people. You
Yeah.
know, how has that been and that process and progress been? When did it start? When did you make up your mind where you were like, this is what I'm gonna, you know, put my 2 feet in? And have you felt any pressure in those moments? You know?
It was all just kind of organic, you know what I mean? Like it was never like a thought of like, yo, I'm gonna go this route or I'm gonna go that other route. First of all, I was always into hip hop with a message and shit that just had more meaning. And to this day, when we look at the greats, like the greatest of any era, they always, you know, they can really rap. They have something to say. There's just music with a substance and it's timeless music, and you know what I mean. And it just lasts long. So that's always what I strive to make, regardless. You know what I mean? First of all, so and then secondly, it was like, okay, I'm coming in as an Armenian, and the first of my background into this hip hop culture that originated kind of like from the streets as like the voice of the voiceless, the voice of the people. So I was like, yo, I gotta tell the story of my people. You know what I mean? Like that's what sets me apart first and foremost, and that's just what I feel in my heart. So and just it kind of organically grew into that because I did one song about the Armenian genocide, which was called Open Wounds, and that shit just kind of
Slap.
blew up. Yeah, that shit blew up first, of course, in our community, but to our surprise, like everybody started relating to it because everybody, you know, every minority has been through some type of genocide. You know what I mean, or
Right.
something that's relatable to that, and some type of injustice, really. You know what I mean,
Right.
and when we did these T-shirts and stuff with it, and it just kind of turned into this movement to like raise awareness about crimes against humanity and all that, you know. So yeah, but it was just like I don't feel like I make music for specific people at all, but I'm a rep where I'm from, just like anybody in hip hop reps where they from. You know what I'm saying? I think that's just a hip hop thing to do. You know what I mean? So
Right.
yeah,
Right. And have you felt any pressure, like knowing that you're kind of you're really paving a lane, you're paving a way? You know, have you
yeah.
felt any pressure or
I
uh,
mean,
have those
you know,
moments been?
like I said, it just kind of happened organically, and I got put into this position, and I kind of just embraced it. You know what I'm saying? And I always have my eyes out, even for like in our community, like younger cats with talent that might, you know what I mean, have that potential to like really carry that torch to a whole nother level. You know what I mean? But like, um, as of now, I'm gonna just do my thing and keep my ear to the street, and you know what I'm saying. So no pressure, man. I kind of welcome it too, in the same sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool, man. So can you tell us a little bit more about the 1915 genocide? You know, like excuse my accent, which is interesting. How excuse my accent started is very similar. You know, I don't know if Dre ever told you this story. He ever tell you the story?
Not really. He just told me it's like about immigrants and like that kind of struggle. That's really all he told me.
Dre, man, small, not a lot of words. So pretty much how it all started out is me and Dre were having a conversation about writing the song. Well, he actually called me one day and he said, you know, I'm doing this hip hop thing, but everyone's always talking about my accent. And
Right.
similar, yeah, and similar to your same kind of ideology. I told him like, bro, like instead of running away from it, run towards it. Like make a song called "Excuse My Accent," and just
That's
make
dope. That's
that your
dope. You can't hide that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
yeah,
not like you can hide it. You know what I'm saying? You just live your truth. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
exactly. It is, and make it is what it is, and from there we wrote the song, we did the music video. I'm sure Dre will show you soon.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I know he
and
has a song, but I
yeah,
didn't know like this whole page and this whole platform y'all built was, you know what I mean, how that came about.
yeah. We've been slowly working really hard on this platform, and really just to be able to have these moments. You know what I'm saying? Because we realized after doing the song and the music video, we just realized it was big. It was bigger than us. You know, and we could create a platform where
Right.
we could have more of these kind of conversations, especially in our generation and our culture. We feel like it's important. You know what I mean? Uh, so yeah, so that's kind of how that
For
came
sure.
about. You know, um,
That's
yeah.
what's
So
up.
from that standpoint, you know, I want to give you the platform to talk more about your heritage, your culture, and dive deeper into it in the 1915 genocide, et
Yeah,
cetera, et
so
cetera.
so basically, let me give you a quick background, and make it as simple as possible. But in the year 1915, which was basically during World War One, the Ottoman Turkish Empire, so that'll be modern day Turkey, they committed a genocide against the Armenian people as well as Assyrians and Greeks. So 1.5 million Armenians were massacred, and like hundreds of thousands of Assyrians and Greeks, basically in an attempt to, wipe them off the planet. And it was the first genocide um, of the 20th century, and the word genocide didn't even exist yet. So this is before the Jewish Holocaust and all that, right? Um, so they just basically got away with it clean, and they never got held accountable for it. And there's even a quote from Adolf Hitler in 1939, which is like right before he starts World War II, where he says, "After all, who remembers the annihilation of the Armenians?" You know what I'm saying? Basically saying like, "Yo, if these motherfuckers got away with it, what makes you think I can't do it and get away with it too?" You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like they did the same thing. Um, so and then he went on, and and that's just the kind of thing. Like if somebody gets away with a crime and another motherfucker sees that and he's just as crazy, he might think he can do the same thing, right? And that's why like it's very important to hold people accountable, especially crime of that kind of magnitude. So to this day, the United States hasn't officially recognized it. Last year we were close; it was going up to Congress, but then Donald Trump didn't sign off on it. Even though I believe 49 or 48 individual states have recognized it. Most European countries have recognized it. Canada has. Basically what I'm saying is a lot of people have recognized it as genocide, meaning they um, they agree that it happened. You know what I'm saying? It's not
Right.
some shit that we made up. There's historic fact. There's proof. Everything. Whatever the historians do so. But Turkey just, doesn't just keeps on denying it. So that's why still to this day, every year, and I don't think we ever gonna stop until it's recognized. We march in LA. It's really big because we have a lot of Armenians out here. You know what I'm saying? But it's
Right.
really all over the world. Even when I grew up in the Netherlands, we used to have marches and protests. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um, so all over the world, Armenians and non-Armenians that support the cause and are all for like crimes against humanity and all that, they come together and we march and we protest and all that. You know what I mean? And the reason I said like I did this song called Open Wounds and we created this slogan Our Wounds Are Still Open, which is basically the last line of the song, was really just saying like, you know, our wounds have not healed yet because of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, we are still here. We survivors. We thriving now. We a whole new generation, and we doing a lot of great things. But for several generations, we had to catch up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Something like that happens to your people, that's a huge setback. You know what I'm saying? Um, so yeah, so that's why we say our wounds are still open, and we gonna keep fighting this fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So do you have any big plans for this Friday? Like,
So
how's that gonna happen? Like, you know, usually it'd be a march. Usually
usually it'd be a
you be
march.
performing. You know what I'm saying?
Right, and I've been performing really like in a lot of places. I've been in like Canada, New York has it at like Times Square. They invited me to perform. Like, it's been a really humbling experience for me personally. But yeah, LA has the biggest march, and I've been performing there every year for the last like 3 or 4 years. So this year, obviously, the march got canceled. The Armenian Genocide Committee, which right now Open Wounds, when we created this movement, we turned it into a nonprofit, and we part of the official Armenian Genocide Committee, which is like a collective of like 18 nonprofit organizations. So they doing like a live broadcast, which basically there's always like a stage and like speeches and performances and things like that. So now we'll all be online. It's, you know, it might not be the same impact, but in the way it is, you know, online you can spread something really fast too.
Yeah.
So and then I kind of last minute created this new record, which I kind of told myself I wasn't gonna do before because Open Wounds was such a powerful song that I didn't want to make something that people would think is like a part two or something. But only like a few weeks ago, I just kind of started working on something, and it came out so amazing that I decided like it's called We Are Still Here, and I decided to drop it on the 24th, and it features my man Cebu Simonian, who's from Capital Cities. Uh, you might have heard of that name. Capital Cities has this massive song called "Safe and Sound." Has like a
Yeah.
billion streams on YouTube.
Right.
If you hear it, I'm sure you know what song I'm talking about. But
Right.
he collaborated with me on the hook. It just became a extremely epic song, so I'm really excited about it. We editing the video right now, just in time. Everything last minute. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's right.
But yeah,
That's how good creativity comes. When you're
yeah,
like,
for
I'm
sure.
not going to do that, and then you're like, fuck it, I might as well.
Yeah, man, it happened kind of organically. I had this like spoken word freestyle type of thing, and I'm like, it's kind of too good to just be a freestyle. Let me send it over to Cebu, and then he did this ridiculous hook on it and just took it to a whole nother level. So I'm excited about it, man, and I haven't dropped any new music in a couple of years because I kind of pulled back and started re-strategizing, and a lot of huge doors have been opening for me the last couple of years. So I have like this string of new music coming that's completely next level. A lot of huge names involved.
Right.
But this song is kind of like the first drop of all that new music that's coming. You know what I mean? So once I drop this, I'm gonna continue to drop all throughout summer. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah,
That's the plan.
I know you saw you in the studio with Dave East. I don't know if whoever's on there on this channel from Excuse My Accent wants to get familiar with R-Mean, make sure you check out his Instagram. He gets a lot of love in and out of the industry. I mean, Cardi B, Kim Kardashian, name drop, name drop, name drop. I'm not going to do it anymore. Just go check his page out and hit the follow button. Bada boom, bada bing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man,
And
I got a lot of amazing shit coming out. I haven't announced most of the biggest collaborations yet, but on this, what I can announce is right after this "We Are Still Here" record, I got a few solo joints I'm dropping, working up to this joint project, like a joint album I'm doing with Burner. I don't know how familiar. Yeah,
yeah,
Big Burn. I just did a whole countrywide tour with him back in October, November. And now we did a whole album together. We got Davies on there. We got Styles P on there. We got my big brother Be Real on there. We got Chris Webby. Well, Chris Webby hasn't sent his verse yet, but he said he will. I'm just waiting on that, and then the album is done. So that's gonna drop first, and then after that, I got like my solo shit coming, which is like Scott Storch production. A lot of big names I'm not gonna even say yet, but we getting like it's crazy. It's almost surreal that it all came together like this. You know what I'm saying?
you're just gonna tease us like that. All right, so
Yeah.
you got a project with Burner. So you know, my question is, are we gonna see a R-Mean string coming out of nowhere?
You know what? Actually, I'm supposed to have a call later on tonight with our new partners that are also that fuck with Burner and them heavy, and that's part of the conversation because we've been talking about it. Uh, but I think it's a good time to drop it with the Burner album, you know. But I don't know if it's possible that early. So it's some in the works. It'll happen sooner or later, but I definitely want it
Right.
to happen sooner than later. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good business. And you own and operate a couple stores in LA too, right?
Yeah. So really, when we started doing the whole merch thing and it started taking off for us, we created this clothing line. We already call ourselves Pentagon Records. Um, so we just turned it into the Pentagon LA, which was a store in Glendale. And we called it that because hopefully in the future we'll have, you know, the Pentagon New York and Vegas and Toronto and
Right.
all. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, for a brief moment, we had a second location which was more of a pop up. We only had it for 6 months,
Okay.
but the headquarters is right here in LA. I'm in the back right now. Got my little studio set up over here.
All
You know what
right.
I'm saying? But the store is over there. We not an essential business, so we closed. But we got online orders ready. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Let them know.
I see people commenting already on Glen Oaks. Yeah, it's on
Yeah.
Glen Oaks and Grandview and Glendale. Pull up.
Yeah. Let them know. Let them know. What's the website?
It's thepentagonla.com. So the as in THE, Pentagon, and then LA.com.
Dope, man. That's really dope. It's really dope. And you said
And
you guys.
all the open wound shit is on there too. You know, we kind of merged the stores. But if you want to go to the open wound site, it's openwounds1915.com for all the history and all the gear. You know what I'm saying?
Dope. So right now you have your next agenda is the Burner album. Are you dipping in any other entrepreneurial avenues?
Bro, I'm really focused on the music. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times as independent artists, you gotta dip into different things because, you know, the music ain't making you no money unless you really, really blow up. So you just kind of, you know, diversify and trying to find different ways. But the music that's coming, it's just so strong that we just fully focused on it. Of course, the store and the clothing is working. You know, I went to school and I graduated from pharmacy school, so I'm really a pharmacist, but I just don't work daily as a pharmacist. But I am a partner, like a part owner in a pharmacy.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
so that's kind of my side thing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh wow.
But yeah, my focus is in this music shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, check out Vantana Pharmacy in Tarzana if you're in the neighborhood. You know.
Right. So I gotta ask you a random music question.
Let's go.
If there could be a game changer quarantine versus, who would it be?
A quarantine versus game change. I mean,
Hey, boom, and
the
I'll even
first.
make it crazier. It could be dead or alive.
Oh shit! I read somewhere someone tweeted today. Imagine if Michael Jackson and Prince were alive. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. I want to see Dre and Diddy. I don't know if that's a possibility. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I have
Dre
seen.
and Diddy. And then the hip hop guy in me want to see some like Alchemist and Havoc or something. You know what I mean? Like, but that's more for the underground heads. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Uh, but yeah, off the top of my head, those are the ones. You know, the Premier and RZA one was amazing. I was so excited. You know what I'm saying? I was like excited like a little kid for that one. And then the Scott Storch and the Manny one, I didn't think it was the greatest. What's it called?
Head to head.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest matchup. But being that I fuck with Scott heavy, it was just fun to be in there talking shit on the comments and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Totally,
So, yeah, it's
totally,
been fun.
totally. All right, man. Was there anything else you want to say? I know this is like quick and sweet, short and
Nah,
sweet.
man. Yeah, sometimes that's better. You know what I'm saying? Not
Yeah.
drag it out too long. But I appreciate y'all having me. The new record dropping this Friday with the new music video. We are still here, and yeah, just follow me, man. I got a lot of shit coming out. A lot.
Okay. Okay. Dope. I gotta
Okay?
have you because what we're gonna do is we're gonna have this videotape. We're gonna throw this on our website,
Hell yeah.
blast this out so you can have access to it. I gotta have you in with saying "excuse my accent" one time.
I got you. You want to do it right now?
Yeah, bro. You gotta just be like, "excuse my accent."
Yo, it's your boy R-Mean, man. Excuse my accent.
Bow.
Excuse my accent.